Coming up, getting your car ready for this road trip weekend. Ben Spadafora is in. We'll talk with him in a bit. All right, we're getting prepared for the long weekend, and if you're hitting the road, there are some things you need to think about. Ben Spadafora from CarCostCanada, the national director, is here to talk about that. Good morning.
Good morning.
So people are getting ready, and a lot of people, you know what? There are workhorses of our lives. We really take our car for granted, and there are reasons we shouldn't, right? We need to be safe. What do you mean by a critical eye test? Look at your car as if you were going to buy it. Like, what does that mean?
It's been a long, hard, cold winter. Yeah. So take a look at your car as if you were going to buy it. And it's very, very important. Take a look at it and make sure that it's still roadworthy, that if you would actually buy it. Okay. Take a look at things like the headlamps, tail lamps, windshield, tires, and whether or not it's sitting level, all that sort of thing.
Sitting level, okay. Good. You want to look at inflation and all of that, right?
Exactly.
What about making sure your car is clean? Is that important? Because I know that like having bugs all over the windshield, which you might get on the ride anyway, or any other situation actually can hinder the way the car operates.
The windshield is the only thing that you can see the road with.
Right.
So in other words, you want to make sure that the windshield is nice and clean, that you have the proper windshield wiper blades, that they're new, that they're in excellent condition, so that your vision is not impaired when you're driving down the highway.
Let's get to fluid levels. There's more than windshield washer fluid in the world.
There is, and fluid's actually what makes your car run smoothly.
Okay.
A lot of us ignore it because we take our car for granted.
Well, so here's windshield wiper. That one's always easy to find. Let's point out some other spots you want to think about.
That's an easy one as well. Okay. We have the brake fluid levels right here. Okay. You should make sure that your brakes are running perfectly. Gotcha. A lot of people forget about batteries. Make sure that they're nice and clean, so that when you go to start the vehicle, the batteries are in nice condition.
Right, and make sure those leads are really connected well, right?
The leads are connected well, and they're nice and clean, so that you don't compromise on as far as starting power is concerned. Right. We have transmission fluid. So if you have a vehicle that has a transmission fluid indicator, make sure that it's the proper level so your car shifts properly. And that's
right, and you know, if you start to feel a clunky shift or something like that, it's the first place you're going to look, right?
It's the first place you're going to look.
Okay.
Exactly.
And finally, I think the most important part of your car, most important fluid for your car, right?
Oil.
Oil.
It makes it go type of thing. So here's exactly where you put the oil.
Okay.
So you make sure that you're always filled up with oil properly.
Use that dipstick.
Use a dipstick.
Check it out and make sure it's good. And actually, I skipped over. There's the one on the left here. What's this here?
So that's engine coolant. So make sure the engine is cool. You never open that when it's warm, but you can visually see whether or not the levels are there.
There is a max and minimum line. You are dead on it. That's perfect. All right. You want to do an oil change too if you haven't had one for a little while. It might be late to call one in now, but before a big long trip, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yes, it is.
Now, what are we looking for our tires? I know inflation is pretty simple. I think a lot of people take a look, I would hope.
Yes.
What else?
The tread levels are very, very important. So you make sure that the tread level is nice and deep and it's all even.
Yeah, you've got some space to get in there, right?
But
what if on this side I'm seeing some wear on the outside only and the rest looks good?
So that would mean that your wheel alignments are off.
Okay.
And you would have noticed that if you're driving down the road because you would always be going to the left or to the right as well.
If you're slightly turning your steering wheel, there's a problem. Unless it's a graded road.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And also sidewalls too. Always make sure that you always inspect sidewalls. We often forget because we tend to bounce off curbs. Okay.
Okay. Well, bouncing off things can affect your alignment as well. I know that. Okay. Finally, be sure to have the right tools. What do you mean by that?
You should have a tool set, for example, one of those that has a whole bunch of series of tools, whether it's gloves and an X-Acto knife, booster cables, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But if you don't want to go out and buy that, you at least must have what I call the 3 essentials.
Okay.
One is duct tape, which is the universal fix-it-all. A set of vice grips, which is the mini jaws of life.
They're amazing.
And of course, a hammer.
Yeah, go for that.
You need these 3 things at the very minimum.
CarCostCanada National Director Ben Spadafora, thank you so much for taking us through that.